Dark psychology is such a controversial topic that most users and creators shy away from even talking about it, because if you learn dark psychology, then the business of those YouTube and content creators will be closed, because then they will not be able to manipulate you, and even the reality of the people around you will also be revealed to you, because people are manipulating you every day, and you could never understand this thing. If you are good, it does not mean that the world will also be right with you, because psychopaths like Hitler, big companies, politicians, salesmen, and some people around you have been using dark psychology for years, for your own benefit. But you should not learn dark psychology so that you can manipulate others. Rather, you should learn dark psychology so that no one can manipulate you by using it. Therefore, in this video we are going to tell you 11 such dark psychological tricks, which you must know. Gaslighting is such a manipulation trick where the other person creates self-doubt in your mind by tampering with your own memories, how he wants you to see the situation, how you feel. Exactly the same. You start doing it. Understand this with an example. Suppose the other person did something wrong to you, and when you went to tell him this, he twisted the entire situation as if it was not his fault, but yours. That person will challenge your understanding as to how you are misunderstanding the matter. You yourself have made a mistake in listening. How are you overreacting? How have you set your expectations too high, because of which you are hurting yourself? If they did something wrong to you in the past, then it was not their fault but yours. Because you misunderstood things, you should stay away from such people, because you will see people talking like this the most around you. Fear-mongering. Getting your work done by spreading fear among people is a very common dark psychological trick. This has been going on since the time of Hitler, like he had made Jews the biggest threat to Germany by using media and propaganda. He spread the fear of Jews among the people and brought people under his control, and as he kept talking, people started believing that this thing is very common even today. Politicians use it. Big companies try to sell their products to you by spreading fear about one thing or another. A boss keeps his employees in fear that they may lose their jobs at any time. In a relationship, people keep the other person in fear that he will leave them. Where people are trying to get you to do something by scaring you, then understand that that fear is false and they are just taking advantage of you. Love bombing. This trick is mostly used in romantic relationships. Here a person shows so much love in the beginning that he starts love bombing the other person with his words, gifts, and surprises. He shows so much affection that the other person also starts loving him. And when he understands that, the victim is now under his control. If he has got used to it, he reduces the love bombing, due to which the other person starts longing for the same thing and asks why he is not showing the same affection towards me as before. A sense of rejection begins to develop within him, and he starts accepting many unethical things from the manipulator and becomes a victim of manipulation. Therefore, whenever someone is overly sweet to you in the beginning, then understand that there is something dark in the heart. Social proofing. In Social Proofing Influence the Psychology of Passebook, Robert explains that when we are confused, we automatically look at the people around us, like friends, celebrities, or influencers, to decide what is the right thing to do. Social proof is a very common psychological trick where whenever you see people around you doing the same thing, you automatically start going towards those things. The only thing that makes this trick dark is that people often try to create a fake socio-proof. Like, after seeing positive reviews of a movie, we go to watch the movie, even though she is not that good. A person who doesn't seem so good to you, but your family and friends around you are all saying that he is very good. So you also start trying to change your perception, and many times your perception is being changed and you are not even aware of it. Silent treatment. This is also a very dark psychological hack, which is completely dependent on one line. Silence speaks louder than words. Never by saying something or doing drama to break the other person, to get something out or to bring something to life, does not get the same results as you get by remaining silent. Because silence triggers multiple emotions in the other person. They get confused. They start doubting themselves and get angry. Along with this, their attachment to you also increases. It is very evil to use this in a relationship. For example, suppose a very close friend family member, or partner of yours made a mistake, which you don't like, and even after your repeated refusal, they are not listening to you, stop speaking at such times. In fact, stop saying anything and remain completely silent. Let them remain confused as to why you are reacting like this. Your silent treatment will make them very angry, and they will not know what to do. Every now and then they will break down and start doing what you want. This trick is very dangerous and makes the other person go through psychological torture. Therefore, just avoid it and do not use it on anyone. Guilt trip. Here the other person makes you feel guilty by repeatedly reminding you of your past mistake or mistake, due to which you come into a vulnerable state, and you are forced to do whatever the other person wants. For example, your partner is convincing you to go somewhere, but if you don't want to go there, then instead of explaining to you, they should use such words. You never go anywhere with me. Even the last time we couldn't go anywhere. I don't like you. That's why you don't like going anywhere with me. By saying such things, he is trapping you in guilt, so that if you do not obey them willingly and happily, then at least you will not obey them out of guilt. Force teaming. This is such a method of manipulation by which the person in front binds you with his hands and you are not able to do anything. You can notice this very easily in professional life. Your boss comes and gives you a long speech about how our company is in big trouble, which has also brought with it an opportunity in which we are all together. You will say yes. Your boss will just say that this is why we will all work together on this Sunday also. By not taking off, you become a victim of force teaming. Your friend, partner, or colleague can use this trick where he presents his problem like this. Like that's your problem too, just stay away from such people. Choice restrictions. This is a way to bring people's decisions in our direction. It is not easy to get people to work in a straightforward manner, but when you put limits on their choices, their decision-making power also becomes limited. For example, suppose you want your younger brother or sister to start studying. Then if you tell him directly to study, he will register. But if you tell them to go and get some things from outside, or start doing some work at home, because studies are not happening, so instead of doing all this work, he will sit here and study. Such people, by restricting your choices, get you to do the work they want you to do. Amplifying problems. Simply put, making a mess of the matter. Looking at it from a third-person perspective, it looks very simple. See two people fighting over a scratch on the road. Then you will feel whether you are fighting in vain. There is only a small scratch, but when this happens to you, you feel fear, urgency, and pressure, which puts you in a vulnerable state. For example, you had to meet your partner at 5 Sue, but you arrived at 5:30. Now you will think, what happened? You are late by only half an hour. But your partner will create such a big fuss over the fact that I have been standing on the road for half an hour. It is so sunny that I am feeling dizzy from hunger. You don't care about time. I do not want to go. Now you have become vulnerable, and there are high chances that you will start silently obeying your partner throughout the day. Go silently wrong. People hide things from you by not saying anything or by twisting things, but when they are told something different from what they meant, they have a natural desire to correct you. For example, suppose one of your colleagues has just resigned from his job. Now you want to know in which company he has applied. So if you ask directly, he may not answer. Then you ask something like this: I heard that you are going out of India. No, I will work here, not outside India. Where is Birmingham? No, London. Which startup to join in London? No, the company is like that. Which one? Self-abasement. The manipulator often uses self-abasement to get what he wants. That means he starts humiliating himself. It is used most of the time when we insult ourselves, to apologize to win people's trust, or to strengthen relationships. If you show yourself inferior in front of someone else, then they automatically start feeling superior, which makes them feel good. Like, for example, your partner is angry with you. They are not accepting anything you say. Self-abasement will come in handy here. I am very bad. I don't know how I made this mistake. No matter how hard I try, I always mess things up. Just 2 or 4 such lines are enough for manipulation. Females also use this trick to downgrade themselves a bit, so that in return they get many compliant